Hello guys, and yes, I am back, and I'm back with arguably the most controversial video I'll ever make, because let's talk about Camp Cretaceous Ships. Oh my god. When I made the review for season 4, I knew that people were going to be divided on this, right? But holy shit, they hate this season fairly because of the romantic ship that happened. Firstly, because their age gap was too big. Secondly, because they came out of nowhere. Well, I'm gonna address both of those issues, but before I do that, I wanna talk about the ships that weren't canon, and in those comes Benji, YAZ, and Darlin. Benji, let's talk about Benji, yeah? Season 1. Oh yeah, they have some sort of good dynamic with them. Season 4, okay, they are back with that dynamic, but they're overshadowed with Brooklyn and Kenji's romance. So yeah, take that out of the equation. And to be fair, as we went down the seasons, we didn't have much development for those two. So, I mean, how did we get there? Well, I don't know, but I can understand, like, the point of view for others, like, they wanted that ship, but didn't happen. So, yeah, I mean, I can't say much with that ship, but hey, let's move on, okay? The second one, we have YAZ. Now, YAZ is one of those ships that was really popular at the time of season 2 because of that one episode, the episode 2 or episode 3, I can't remember, but it's where Kenji was, calming Yaz, and it was like, you thought, oh, it was romantic and all that, but then you move on to season 3, and I felt that their relation felt more like brother and sister. And now moving on to season 4, they were like brother and sister, where Yaz was actually encouraging Kenji to go on with Brooklyn. Like, seriously? For those of you who still think Yaz and Kenji could be canon, like, that would be so out of place if they even did that, because you literally kind of formed this sort of relation of them being brother and sister, and then for you to just go out and be like, yeah, in season 5, oh, Brooklyn breaks up, and yeah, Kenji and Yaz are the couple. What? No, why would you do that? But like, I get you wanted that. I like that ship too, but when you see it, it kind of fell off. And thirdly, the one that I thought would have been canon was Darlin, Darius, and Brooklyn. Like, that not happening shocked me. Like, if there was one I could place my bet on, was Darius and Brooklyn, because they never felt as if they were going to be something else. They always felt like they had this romantic relation going on since season 1, season 2, and season 3. Always they had those moments, and even at the season 3 end, you could see that one moment. Like, you were like, okay, they are going to be a couple if they do a ship. But turns out, as soon as we start season 4, things quickly changed. Like, Brooklyn felt a little bit more matured for her age, because, well, she's still 13 and she acted more like 15 or 16. And then going after Kenji, and you can tell that it's not that it was just Kenji who liked Brooklyn, it was also Brooklyn who liked Kenji. They both liked each other since the beginning. Well, not since season 1, but their relationship has been developed since season 1. You can see how it started with Kenji being the self-centered rich boy and Brooklyn being the superstar. And you can really tell that Kenji was like the one who didn't care about anyone. And as seasons progressed, he started to develop feelings for his friends and he wanted to take care of them. Come season 2, he cared about Brooklyn. He stayed with Brooklyn. When everyone else left, he was there for Brooklyn. Then season 3 comes in and you can really tell that he had feelings for Brooklyn. Like, when others were making a different plan, taking a little longer to protect Brooklyn, he was so raged that Darius wasn't thinking about Brooklyn, but thinking about making a safer plan. He went right for Brooklyn and just saved her. And that's when I also saw that scene when they both hugged, and it was like, maybe they are going to be the ship. I don't know. And come season 4, holy shit, they are canon. And the fact that you all still think that they are going to break up and then Brooklyn's gonna go with Darius and Kenji's gonna go with Yaz, it's a little crazy. I can't see it, because you see it from director's perspective. You took an entire season to develop this relation to only throw it away in season 5. Like, why would you do that? This whole season 4 was centered around those two, and then you're just gonna throw it away? It doesn't make sense. Like, keep them canon, okay? Because it's your choice. You are the ones to write it, and if you think that's the ship, then that's the ship. You have to deal with it. And I don't think Darius had a problem either. You could just see the happiness on his face, and it was like, that's much better than okay. Like, he was genuinely happy for Kenji and Brooklyn to be together. He didn't have a problem like I thought he would, but he didn't. He was happy about it. So if the others are happy, why aren't you? And just accept it. Now let's talk about ships that can be canon in season 5, because let's knock ourselves out, right? Because if season 4 had one ship, surely they're gonna have one more. Like, it has to be something. Maybe they're not gonna go with any other ship after what happened with season 4, but I think they will. It's just a feeling, right? I think they will go for another ship. And what other ships are there left? Well, that's a good question. Let's start counting them in. We have Benrius, we have Benmi, we have Benmina, we have Samrius, we have Yasami, and we have Darmina. So let's talk about the most odd one out, Samrius. Now, this is the one ship that I really don't think should even be considered, because again, I really think they are just sister and brother. Like, why even bother shipping them? Because like, if you bring them canon, you really have to develop them again, like in season 5, to make them feel like they're a romantic couple. But okay, maybe we can see that, but just the way they are as of now, they feel more like brother and sister. Now we move on to Benrius. That can happen. I can tell you that can happen. And it's funny because many of you would be like, what are you talking about? You see, many people wanted representation and they thought that Ben would be the one. Ben isn't going with Kenji, maybe he'll go with the leader, Darius, the main character. I mean, what other way to give representation by making the main leader of the group going in with Ben, like having them as a relationship, right? And as far as I know, with that dialogue of Ben where he said, I'm just starting to figure myself out, many people can interpret it that he's telling that he isn't into girls and he's into boys. So who knows? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Benrius could be possible. Now, Benmi. That, again, if you had told me that Benmi was gonna be canon after season 3, I would kind of believe you, because they had some moments, you know? You think about the yacht scene where they kind of sort of flirt. I mean, where Ben kind of joked around with Sammy, and then come final episode, you can just see that one image where Ben was hugging Bumpy and then Sammy came in, and you can just see one weird moment of him being satisfied, like looking behind him and knowing that it was Sammy, and just smiled and hugged Bumpy even more comfortably. It was kind of weird, but it kind of felt like Ben and Sammy had something going on. But come season 4, again, things kind of felt off. They didn't had any sort of development, and it just felt like, yeah, they're friends. Maybe they put so much focus onto Kenji and Brooklyn that they couldn't focus on someone else. But saying that, let's talk about Yasami. YAZ and Sammy, the one ship that has been developed since season 1, like Darius and Brooklyn. Are they gonna throw that off too? I don't think so. Many of you think they are friends. Many of you think they're sisters. But come to terms, like, they have been the most developed characters, like as in a relation. Sammy, as in herself, isn't the most developed character, but YAZ, yeah, she has been developed over the seasons a lot. And I can tell you, if YAZ and Sammy are canon, I can see that possibility a lot more. Like, those chances are high. And because, like, it makes sense here, right? You had YAZ, the introvert, who started to develop feelings for Sammy, who opened up to Sammy. We move on to season 3, and of course, season 3, the long run, holy crap, that was their episode. Like, YAZ went out to risk her own life to save Sammy, and she did. So yeah, that was kind of cool, and you can just tell they have this emotional sort of pairing with each other that just works. And this is just my personal opinion, alright, but come season 4, their relation, it's just me, alright, I don't know if it's you all, but I think in season 4, their relation sort of felt romantic, but also in another way, they felt more like sisters. Now I know that that doesn't mean there might not be canon, but they felt more like sisters this season because they cared about each other, but they didn't care about each other like in a romantic way. But let's talk about one ship that I did not think many people would talk about after season 4, and that is Ben and YAZ. The one ship that almost in episode 3 was confirmed to not happen now feels like many people are wanting to happen. How did we get there? Like, seriously, it's the same sort of case with Kenji and YAZ, isn't it? It took one episode for the people to be like, oh, they're a ship, let's ship them, alright? Ben and YAZ. Ben already told off YAZ that he liked her, but he didn't liked her. And when you think about it, right? Scott Creamer himself confirmed that episode 3, that Ben and YAZ relation was supposed to be a comedic relief. So it's kind of weird to think that they would go into that direction, giving them more of a romantic relation. But as we progress in the season itself, we can see that Yaz and Ben kind of got more close to each other. Like they were hugging each other, and like that one scene in episode 10 when everyone goes for a hug, the others hug Darius, but Yaz only hugs Ben. Who knows, maybe she's starting to develop feelings for Ben, and Ben also starting to like Yaz. Who knows? Anything could be possible, right? I mean, if Kenji and Brooklyn has been canon, any of these ships can be canon. And the one ship now that I'm going to talk about, which I thought I was the only one, because, well, least to say, I posted a poll on my YouTube channel, and yeah, the results kind of seems a bit interesting, isn't it? Many of you suggest that Darius and Yaz are going to be canon. Now I get it, age gap ship is canon. Why don't we go with another age gap ship? You know, it's weird because I'm a bit biased on it, isn't it? Because season 1 and season 2, I really genuinely ship Darius and Yaz a lot. And come season 3, it felt a little like they weren't gonna have that development, so I was like, I'm okay with it. And then come episode 10, that one picture moment had me coming back again to think maybe they're going to be canon, because who knows, like it's kind of a bit metaphoric, isn't it? Sammy taking that picture in her mind, like that's the only memory picture she takes, and that is of Darius and Yaz. That's the one memory picture she has logged in her head. So it's kind of weird, like you can see it in a metaphoric way and be like, oh, maybe Darius and Yaz are going to be canon. And come season 4, well, tell me, everyone else, when the plane left and the campers were left stranded again, you can see the others were mad at Darius, except Yaz. Yaz was just disappointed and still didn't tell Darius about all the nightmares she had until the situation got worse. And when Darius realized it, he was blaming himself. He felt guilty of everything that happened. And who was to relieve him? Yaz. At the end of the day, it was Yaz who relieved him of his stress, telling him that it was just them who could save the dinosaurs. And she reassured Darius that it's okay. You know, you can interpret it your way. Like you can think, oh, they might be brother and sister, but then you could think that maybe they're a bit love relation. So who knows? And the other thing I gotta say, the one problem that comes with this ship as well is the age gap. One's 15 and one's 12. And I gotta be honest, though it's the director's choice, hear me out. If you guys are watching this video, I want you to clip this part of this video, okay? Why don't you guys retcon the ages? I mean, at this point of time, after so much backlash about the age gap, just retcon the ages. And don't make a big leap on ages, but keep Kenji and Yaz the same age, 15, okay? I already said, when I saw the first chart release for the ages, I was like, that's a bit kind of crazy, isn't it? But keep Kenji and Yaz's age the same, but have all the others in the 14-year-old age. You know how people can be considered older and younger by months? Like someone could be 14 years and 8 months old, and then there could be someone who's 14 years and 6 months old, and then you could consider them by that 2-month gap older and younger. Have that factor play into this, because this has become a major problem for many of the fandom. Like they think that age gap was ridiculous, so why don't you just make Brooklyn 14 years and 8 months old, have Ben be 14 years and 6 months old, have Sammy be 14 years and 2 months old, and then have Darius either be 14 or at least 13. Don't make him 12. That way, if you ship him with anyone else, like the only chance you had with Darius was with Brooklyn, Brooklyn's out of the equation. So if there's any chance of Darius being shipped with someone, at least have him in the 13-year-old or 14-year-old age. So maybe we could even think of shipping them, okay? Or you know what? Just keep them the same age, because hell, they all acted way too mature for their ages in this season. But hey ho, it's the writer's choice, isn't it? And I just hope season 5 is good. And for those of you who think season 5 isn't gonna happen, season 5 will happen. First of all, because of cliffhanger. Second of all, because of Mr. Glenn Powell being confirming that there will be a season 5, and we can now confirm that Dave will be in season 5 some way. Like he is going to be in season 5, and knowing that Darius' brother is also out there, we could have Brandon and Dave coming to this island. So yeah, it's going to be crazy season, isn't it? And yeah guys, that wraps up today's video. And what do you guys think? Comment down below and tell me, what do you guys think? And yeah, as usual, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, as always, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.